Okay, so I want to, the poke making will be really quick, fast, but I want to get into questions. I mean, feel free right now.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about how you maintain quality control in franchises. Aren't you a little bit concerned about your brand getting watered down? Or how do
Well, you know, that's a very, very good point because, you know, when you look and study restaurants that are really successful, and then all of a sudden they start dipping, okay, that's what happened. So you got a little problem with consistency, you know, service. What has to happen is from way back in the get-go or the beginning, it's the buying procedure. You're expecting just this. That's what you got to buy all the time. So we use about 10,000 pounds of fish a week right now, tuna. So I worked with a guy out there in Los Angeles, Rex Ito. He's one of the largest tuna suppliers. He has a big business in Ensenada, Mexico, where he raises bluefin tunas. Amazing, huge. But he's the #1 tuna guy in California. So I worked with him to give me some leads to other people. And then I met Mike Irish. You guys should get that guy talk to you guys one time. Mike Irish is a very interesting guy if you get him talking. You got to get him drunk first. But Mike Irish, he owns a Hom's Kimchi. He has a bunch of products in Costco. But he owns a seafood company along with all these other businesses that he has under his umbrella. He has Diamond Head Seafood. So Diamond Head Seafood locally has been my partner in supplying our restaurants with all the seafood. So we went from Mr. Ito, Rex Ito out in Los Angeles, and then we now right here locally in Hawaii. So we FedEx all the fish in to us every morning. At 9:30, those FedEx trucks come right back to the commissary kitchen and we start. So that's where it starts. It starts from the buying for food. You're expecting, making sure that that's what you're getting. And you got to be hard on them. You got to be hard on the purveyors. You got to tell them, hey, I want this to last forever, but what you just sent us can't work. We can't have all this suji in the fish. Got to be clean fish for poke. You know, so that's how it starts. And then, you know, constantly testing and constantly keeping an eye open. And that's what you manager. So it's like you train your employees to be part of the police work, right? You know, so that's how you try to maintain it. Because, you know, my dad, way back when, taught us this when we were growing up. You might not remember what you paid for a year from now for your meal. You definitely might not remember what did you order a year from now. But you're sure not going to forget how you got treated. That is the most important tool to know. Because we'd be going by a restaurant and my wife would go like, ooh, what's wrong? He goes, remember that restaurant where the waiter was so rude? And I said, man, that was like, the kids were like only 2 years old. She never forgot that. You know, so that's the bad part of the industry. So, you know, consistently checking. But you try to eliminate, that's what it is, right? The other thing my dad told me, you shoot for the stars, you fall on the roof. You know? So that's what I always try to do, is set the standards high. Because nobody can really hit the target, but you can be pretty darn close. You know? I got fortunate enough to do a wedding for a Navy SEAL group. Got to meet Marcus Luttrell and all those guys from Lone Survivor. That's a different out-of-body experience kind of guys. You know, you want to ever hire them as a manager, I think or police your kitchen, they'll be the best. They're very consistent, you know. But yeah, that's the most important thing, is making sure that the line of consistency is there. That's the real big challenge, you know, because you're only going to be as good as the last plate went out, the last meal. What else? Yes.
You've had one partner for a long time now, right? How did that come about? Has that been important in your business?
You know, I've had two partners that went sour.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So my partner now the retired engineer of Microsoft,
Yeah.
Max Height. The chemistry between he and I is amazing. You know, it's like we don't have to talk. We just, you know, somehow it just comes together. And that's the thing, if you got a partner, you know, the hardest thing about partners is like, man, I'm working really hard, but my partner's not working hard. What's up with that? You know? And especially like for me in my case where my name is the driving force behind the business. So, you know, you kind of going like, man, you know, am I making more money than him or what? And all those kind of things are so negative that it literally deteriorates the relationship. You know? So that's why you have to have the chemistry to where no matter what happens, our sights are not here, but there, you know? And that's the real important. Even when you guys start planning your high plan and all that, make sure that you focus on that part. I think to have a great partner is wonderful, you know? We talk about once a week. If something emergency comes up, he'll call me, or if there's something that they need me to fly up, you know, I'll fly up, you know. But the chemistry part of your partner is so important.
Do you divide like you're obviously the chef and the food
Yes.
expert, and he's more of the business,
Marketing,
finance, and
business, all the high-tech stuff.
yeah.
He does all that, all the design of the restaurant. He does all that, you know, he's very good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so his mom and the family owned about 8 units in SeaTac Airport. They owned American Bagels. They had a sandwich and soup company. They owned Bigfoot. So he kind of grew up in that industry. So he knows restaurants really well. But more importantly, he kind of like has the vision for the site for like how to make it look good. You know, so that's important. So I just take care of food. I think I got the easy part of the deal. You know, I got 2 good chefs out there. But I do some big consulting jobs here in Hawaii. I'm a consultant at the Kulua Landing on Kauai, which is an autograph group, a Marriott autograph group, which is managed by Azul Company. They own a lot of big high-end hotels. Not owned, but they manage. I do American Airlines. And then my latest HBU University. I'm going to be designing a restaurant for them in the old Don Ho's restaurant over at the, what you call that, the Aloha Towers. It's going to be a really nice restaurant. You know, and the really nice thing about it, we're down to 2 operators now. We got Sodexo, which is a big, you know, national group that handles that kind of environment, and Airmark. So both of them are really fighting for it. It's kind of neat to see them fighting. You know, every time we have a meeting, man, they got another big bone on the table. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Pretty soon I don't have to do nothing. Keep it going, keep it coming. But yeah, so you know, and that's going back to, again, you know, laying out that quality. You know, you know, it's really funny, but I do a lot of guest appearances. I do a lot of events, a lot of charity. 2 weeks ago, Cleveland, $22 million year to date. 8 years ago, we started raising money for the UH Simon Cancer Center in Cleveland. Big, beautiful hospital. When you walk in there, you think you're in a resort. Because they believe the cancer challenge starts with the right here, you know. So they work in a sense where you walk in a room, it's like a condo. The family's there. There's nothing like cables hanging or oxygen, but you slide the picture, you got oxygen there. The ceiling opens up, the X-ray machine comes down. They do all of that, they put all that back up, you're back like in a condo. So they believe that 90% of the challenge for the people, the patients that have cancer, is making them feel like they're not in that kind of environment. There's no cafeteria there. They got restaurants. So you order on the iPad what you want to eat. Yeah. The room service it right back to you, the whole family, or they can cook. They have the facilities like a condo, like a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. So and then the real magic thing about them, they have a library which is all computers. So what they do is they try to match everything that they got from their doctor. and they send it out all over the world and find out if they could match somebody that has the same kind of cancer. And that has worked a lot. I've sent about 4 people from Kona to go there. Yeah.
Cleveland Clinic?
Yeah, UH, the University Sideman Cancer Center. It's amazing, huge, yes. Question?
But how do you assess, how do you know whether a deal is structured properly?
50-50,
Uh-huh.
right down the middle.
Right down the middle?
Yeah. I mean,
Your standard, that's your standard.
that's my standard. That's
You want to talk?
the only challenge that I have. They got to fly me in and out,
Yeah.
fly me wherever. So that's on the table. Nothing's cheap. Nothing's free.
Uh-huh.
So they have to understand our challenge. So my partner turns around, buys a house where I go and see. It's like my home. He buys a house right on the water, right across the Mercer Island. So I'm like, where are we going? He goes, oh, I just bought a house for you. Just don't have to stay in a hotel anymore. So 50-50. That stops everything right there. You know, that's what a lot of people, you know, and local people, I'm a local boy. You know, you sit there and you go like, oh man, looks like the numbers all stacking up on his side. Well, that's not good, you know. But my name's on the restaurant. That's even worse. But when he goes 50-50 right down the middle, I mean, hey, you know, that's pretty nice. And the checks are coming in on the dates he tells you. That's nice. And for like my wife, her most important thing is paying taxes. Making sure all that's taken care of. The silent partner or the silent killer, the government. Yeah. You know, I watch people in Kona run their business. I'm like, wow, man, I hope they're putting away for the rainy day. You know, because all you need is one mishap and, you know, the engine starts missing. You know, that's the scary part. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's really important to, when you cut in the deal, you know, you got to make sure that you're comfortable. Because if you're not comfortable, then how you expect to put this package together? Right? How you expect to go out and give your heart, your soul, and you just took all your, you know, whatever you had left in that area there, put it in a basket. You look around, it's all empty here, but everything's in that basket. So how do you feel like if the deal's not brokered right? That's important to have all of those things like part of that deal. Yeah.
Your industrial, I don't know if this is too invasive a question, but your restaurant in the industrial area, the one that I love the best,
Right.
was that self-financed or did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was just the family.
yeah.
My sisters, my mom, my dad, you know. You know, I think about that restaurant a lot because it was kind of like our really launching
Yeah.
of our, you know, style of cooking, which was the day we were born. It started then,
Uh-huh.
you know, but I think about it a lot. And to me personally, I think that's the restaurant we should have took to the planet. Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Listen,
You know, yeah, you know, I mean, I feel this, I feel you folks. That was definitely the winner.
I moved to Kona because of that.
The Kali Kali.
I'm not kidding.
You had the Kali Kali.
Yeah, I had to call at lunch and I said, I'm moving to Kona from Honolulu.
See, it worked out good, huh? Smart
It worked
man.
out great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was definitely a winner.
Yeah.
You know, the celebrities came there. We fed Julia Childs in that restaurant. Yeah, we sat there, her and her team, and Jeffrey Drummond, your producer. We sat there, we chatted, and you know,
What'd you feed her?
oh, she wanted fish. We had my, and just so happened, I didn't get no Billy Wakefield, but he drove in the back and he had all the tuna coming out the back, and they're like, wait, want to take pictures, all standing there by his truck and offloading all the tuna, the paka, and.
Oh, man.
But you know, I think about that restaurant today. A lot of people are doing what we did back then. How many years ago was that? So it kind of like, it's like you're grading and you know, you take your finals. I kind of look at us from way back when, we were ahead of the game.
A+, man. You're
Yeah,
putting that
well,
out.
yeah, we did good. And, you know, so what was really magical about that restaurant, it was hokey. I remember getting called from people, what's your ocean, what's the view like? I go, oh, the dumpster? We try to get those guys to pick up their dumpster early in the morning, because once the restaurant gets full, it's pretty nasty. And then, oh, we got a siding of an aluminum building on the other side of that. Wait, is this Sam Choy? I go, yeah, this is Sam Choy. No, ocean view. I said, oh yeah, oh no, it's the cloud. No ocean view. But you know, and that's what really drove that restaurant out of the park. Being hokey, being real, being a bunch of hard-working employees. The girls in there was the best team.
And you were there
I was there.
You were there
every
a lot.
day.
I was there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but so going back to your question there, you know, let me just kind of roll back when we were growing up. So my mom and dad, when we got of age, my dad worked at Pearl Harbor. He was there during the bombing. And he worked like 9-10 months straight to clean it all up. Not only him, but everybody else. And he met my mom planting grass over at Kuloa Landing. Kuloa used to be on Oahu, right outside of Ka'ava. That was a big landing strip for the bombers. So they would leave like early in the morning, and the wind on the planes, when they took off, blew all the grass off the camouflage nets. So they had to go replant the grass. So every day they did that. So the bus would come from Kaneohe Marine Base, picked up my mom, and one time my mom didn't have the money to go on the bus. So my dad reached in and gave, you know, her money to get on the bus, and that's how they met. So yeah, interesting, right? So anyway, when we were growing up, it was a real interesting time where we did a lot of entertaining, because my parents, dad Navy, my mom, you know, just housewife and busy and raising us, and they always entertained on the weekends. We had a lot of big dinners at our house. But the other thing too, my dad fed a lot of kids. We didn't know that every 4 o'clock, 4:30, all these kids would show up. And so what parents would do was, when they didn't have money, they would bring their kids to our house, just drop them off, and my dad would cook. I didn't know pots were like small. We always had big pots like that. You know, making chili, making stew, making pasta. You know, my dad making Chinese food. Always a whole bunch of food. But every Wednesday, the family, just me, my brother, and my 2 sisters, my mom and dad, we'd go out to a restaurant. And we got to order whatever we want. And the message was, whatever you ordered, you have to eat, you know? So I thought it was a pineapple, but it was an artichoke, right? So I ordered an artichoke, you know? And it came to my table like this, and I went like, oh, what is it, man? Some kind of green vine, you know? I took the leaf off, and I put it in my mouth. I started chewing, and I went like, oh, man, it's not breaking down. I felt like, you know, chewing and chewing. I goes, oh, man. And I said, do I swallow it now? And I'm like, no, I don't think so, because it's still kind of, you know. And finally, man, I just said, okay, here's my next move, man. I'm going to look around in a restaurant, see if anybody's eating it. I looked, and there was a lady breaking it off, dipping it in her butter. So I took the whole napkin trip, you know, and I put it aside, and I started doing that. And that's how I got to learn how to eat artichokes. But see, so that was at a very young age. We got exposed to it. And that's what I tell a lot of people. We got exposed to food from way back. So for us to cook and really have fun and enjoy, we had all the structure, the foundation was laid by our parents. So on Sundays, because my sisters and my brothers all went to Kamehameha School on the hill. I went to Kahuku. I wasn't smart enough. No, I'm just kidding about that. But anyway, I went to Kahuku, so I would go on Sundays with the family, go to church, and then we go drop them off at the school, and then we go eat Chinese food. That was a nice one, though. We didn't have to worry about ordering. My dad did all the ordering in Chinese, you know. So we got exposed from when we were very young to good food, or bad food too, you know. So that's why, you know, when I say like we were ahead of the game, our foundation of food was there. You know, we raised our own chickens. My dad grew vegetables. My dad told me, You harvest early in the morning or late in the evening. Don't harvest in the middle of the afternoon because you get all wilted. So we'd be out there early in the morning picking the lettuce, picking the cabbage, and sprinkle the water on it, you know. They didn't have hot lung, what's that disease now? Red lung. They didn't have that then. Now it's nasty now. That thing's gonna really hurt. If they don't start really moving into education, it's gonna be really, the local farmers markets are gonna close up. It's dangerous. But so, you know, we got exposed to it at a very young age, you know, farming. I can, you know, Thomas Keller, you know, French Laundry, world-class chef. He and I did an event, and we talked the same language. He knows how to kill a rabbit. He knows how to cut a chicken. You know, I don't understand why people got to chop the thing and let it run all around. You know, my dad taught me, you grab the head, you bend it back, you grab the two wings, you hold all of that in one hand, you pluck the feathers here, and you do what you got to do. And hold it until you kind of, you know? So that's what we did. Dip in hot water, do the cleaning, wash it, you know, burn off the excess feathers, the little ones. But see, I know how to do that, right? Some chefs, they just go like, can we get more from Costco, more chicken from Costco? Okay, I think we're kind of running late. What else questions? Yes, we'll wrap right up the gut here. Yeah.
How can we encourage more entrepreneurship amongst the local kids in our community so they can have the courage to take advantage of an amazing opportunity like the Hawaii Plan?
Well, I think I'm a little disappointed that this room wasn't full. But then again, it's a combination of things. I think the message got out just in a week's time. So I think, you know, that's nobody's fault. That's just the way, you know, it happened. But I think things like what you guys are doing now, this is perfect. I mean, you know, dangling $25,000, that's huge, you know. I think topping it up, having him go on a website and watch the video. Watch the video. You know, I mean, those are the kind of things that will give the kids that opportunity to feel like, you know, the scary part, seriously, this generation right now, if they don't start doing something, that's the future. There'll be nothing. They don't know how to cook. They're really good at this, you know, but cooking, caring, helping, being a team player, zero. Don't want to be told. You know, they're always like this, I need. Yeah. I lecture to some of the schools, and that's what they tell me. Oh yeah, my grandma and grandpa take care of me. You know? But yeah, so that's how, you got to talk it up. Got to be positive. The message has to be positive. I like positive. I get up in the morning, 4 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, I'm on the phone. I tell you what, I'm like, my wife, she gets up, she goes, who are you talking to? Oh, I was talking to the guys in Dallas. She goes, shit, you're talking to them like you're talking all afternoon. I said, hey, I'm going to, I'm tired. Let me call you back in half an hour. You cannot do that, man. You know, you're doing business.
Yeah.
You know, you get up, you're moving. That's how I am, man. I'm just, you know, I mean, I don't drink as much coffee as I used to, but I'm jacked up, man. You know, I get up and I'm going. You know, my guys, when we travel, man, I tell you, they're ready. They know that 5:30 in the morning, we're going. We're down having breakfast, talking around the table, and 6:30, the car's picking us up. We're to the event. We're going. And they're not talking, man. They're right there with us going. But that's how you have to be, you know? And, you know, it really, this last trip in Cleveland was really interesting. So we prepped at the Brown Stadium. Very beautiful facilities at the Brown Stadium, right next to the Rock and Roll Museum. You know, that whole business, yeah, in Cleveland. So anyway, a lot of young chefs. I walk in with my guys, you know. I travel with a lot of women. My whole staff mostly are women. They get up early, not too much luggage. They don't party late in the night like the guys. You know, so all strictly business. You know, you come in, they're not reeking booze from the night before. They're all pretty, they're all ready to go. All the other chefs are looking at them, you know. So we get there, all of a sudden, you know, all the young chefs come up to me and go, hey, legend, legend. They're calling me legend. I'm like, wow. I call my PR girl. I goes, hey, Caroline, you know the new jackets you guys ordered for me? Don't put Chef Sam Choy, put down the legend. She goes, wait, when you guys go party last night? I said, no, that's what they're calling me. They're calling me the legend. But you know, it's really nice. And then the other thing too, they always tell me, or the host people, they tell me, you know, Chef, you're probably the only chef that watches your food like a hawk. We watch it from the prep, to the transportation, to the setup, to the guests. It's important. My name's on it. You know, I'm not going to go and do it and then travel all that far, represent Sam Choy's, poke it to the max, and then put out a mediocre product. We're going to follow this thing right to the people's table if we have to. But that's important. So get people excited, telling them, yes.
Well, you're clearly very successful, and so my question is, how important were your various business plans to your success?
Well, I tell you what, two gentlemen that kind of like did the presentation up here, they know all about business plans. That's very, very important. You don't just kind of like go and pull the rabbit out of the hat. You know, that's only magicians do that. But you got to have a plan. You have to have a structured plan of what you vision. And you know, that's why I said you ask people that are smart. Just communicate. And that's how you want to build your plan. Because only you know yourself what you want to do in here. You know? What's that old cliche too? You fish in a pond, you're going to catch minnows. You fish out there in a big ocean, you never know what jumps on. Remember that. So in your planning, that's how you have to design your plan. You know, you have to make sure you cover the foundation. What's the most strongest part of building? The foundation. You know? So whether you structure a great foundation or you put a good foundation team together. That's a really important thing. But you got to have a plan. Because as your plan starts to deteriorate, and you realize like, oh, this is not working. I got to move here. I got to shift. Because not everything is going to come out like the Bible. You know, it's going to fall here and, you know, but it's not the beginning or the end all. It's just, I got to hunker down and get moving. You know, it's just not working right here. You know, it's like this new commercial they got about pancreatic cancer. 40 years we've been chasing this ghost. Nothing has been done. How come? Yeah, really, I ask myself, how come? I've lost so many friends with pancreatic cancer. That's the kiss of death right there. You know, so if it's not working, find something else. Shift, move, you know. Sit back, go to the drawing board. Huh? Last year's Super Bowl, 27-3 or something like that. Locker room. These guys are all pros. They get paid millions of dollars. They know what has to be done. Coach talked to them positively, get them back on the field. Who won? The team that had only 3 points. So that's how you challenge yourself. Yeah, it always comes out if you take the bad and kind of like, you know, learn from it. Because if you don't learn from your mistakes, then it's going to be worthless, whatever you do. Because you know what? You're going to be Portuguese. You're going to come back and do it again. Only Portuguese guys can get mistakes 2 times or 3 times. That's what Frank De Lima told me. I got to bring somebody. So, I always like to, you know, part of this is making sure the presentation is always, man, if this cooler could talk, I don't know how many pounds this cooler, you know what's fun, and also good laugh. I tell you what, I am a clown. So I'll be walking through an airport with this cooler here. I got about 5 or 6 of them, the same color. I'll be walking through and the guys go, hey chef, what you doing? I said, oh, I'm just trying to rush a liver to somebody's going to have a liver transplant. Look at me. I said, well, I went from liver to kidney to heart to all kind of stuff in these coolers. You know, I mean, you got to have it, right? You got to have fun. And that's another thing I want to share, man. In your high plan, put down a little section for laughter, fun.
Nice.
You gotta have that fun in there, because if you don't, it becomes very dangerous. Not dangerous for people, dangerous for you. The soy sauce, right? I got a little bit of that cane syrup in here, some hot peppers, and sesame seed oil. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, very simple. And this thing here, I tell you, it's like wow, you know.
That's the one.
Green onions and sweet onions, and I'm gonna put it together. So and I got some tomatoes. So tomatoes, cucumbers, avocados makes a nice poke. Okay.
Those are cherry tomatoes?
Yeah, these are some really nice sweet cherries. So I think what I'm gonna do, I want to mix this bowl and we take it out there, then you guys can try it.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Simple. And then I got the green onions and the white onions. What the heck? Why not? And then the oval. So just think how much people are using this now.
It's
You know,
incredible.
just think about this.
It's
Yeah,
incredible.
we forecast us to do about 20,000 pounds a week. Yeah, of tuna. It's amazing.
Wow.
So you know, it's kind of concerning because you know, we don't want to deplete. You know, and as like chefs, you know, we can do that, but we want to make sure that you know we educate all ourselves to.
Now in Japan too, they're eating poke.
Yeah, oh, it's
They love
huge.
it.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
you know. So the sauce is already made. So you pour it on like this. I just got approached by Amazon. We're gonna do a poke kit. So Amazon is
Through
setting
Whole
this
Foods
up.
Okay,
What do you
kit,
Yeah,
wow.
we're gonna have 1 pound of tuna,
Uh-huh.
recipe'd out, whatever garnishes we're gonna have.
Wow.
It'll come in a container like the Blue Apron boxes,
Uh-huh.
Brilliant.
and then call it in. They'll have it to you the next day.
Brilliant.
Right?
Yeah.
Later on.
Well, we ordered that just like about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We were having a meeting in Seattle with the guys, so I looked at the time. I said 5:30. We haven't eaten lunch, so I ordered on the Amazon drones. I ordered pizza and Chinese food. It's amazing, man. I tell you what, in Hawaii that would not work. Somebody would shoot them out of the sky.
Especially if they knew it was your poke.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
That thing's really loud, man. I'm not really loud like a plane, but you can hear it humming from a
Yeah, it's
distance.
loud.
Yeah.
So I got that there, then I'm gonna do a little mix. So this is a real nice part. You see,
Oh, look at how pretty
look
that
how nice it is. Look at this. You know, it's fresh. It's a little
So
sweet.
healthy.
Healthy. That's the thing that people are really catching on.
Yeah.
It's the healthy part.
Yeah.
Do they have spoons out there? I got some chopsticks too.
So the Amazon kits, where do they assemble this?
In a commissary kitchen. We're working all the logistics on that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's gonna be huge.
That's huge. And you know what's funny was we cater. See, that's another thing too. We cater in Seattle. We cater the 737 plant, the IMAX planes, the MAX planes for Boeing, the 800s. That's kind of like what Air Alaska uses. They're contracted to build to 20, 37, or 38. That's how long. They blow 3 planes a day. We went through the whole process. It comes in, the tube comes in on the train track. It goes in their building. Then it goes into another big room where they attach the wings to it. Nobody sees that. That's kind of like the trademark. Yeah. And then from there it comes out. Man, that plane like almost ready to fly. They just butted everything on that plane. 3 a day. That's the max. So that's how successful Boeing is right now. And then Starbucks. They got 22,000 employees in the buildings. One whole building is all for the Asian group, like China, Singapore, all in that group, that area. So the other, when I was out there just recently, I did a big thing for Samsung, which I didn't know how much chips they sell to. I think if you take the iPhones and all the, Apple computer stuff, there's a whole bunch of Samsung products in there.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's business, right?
Yeah.
So I did Samsung, then I went down to Beijing, Shanghai. I went down all the way to Singapore, did an event there. Came back to Hong Kong. I was at the airport for 5 hours. They have 4 Starbucks coffee shops in there. Lines are out the door, you know, long lines. So I got in line, got me a nice cup of not Kona coffee, but Starbucks coffee. And I jumped on a MAX, a brand new plane, ANA, from Hong Kong to Nagoya. Man, I told myself, I know where all these things are, you know, originated.
built.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just so fascinated. You know, I mean, it's something in my life where I say, man, that is amazing to know where these things are built, or the brain trust of this group is.
Right.
And I'm here enjoying this cup of Starbucks,
Yeah.
and I'm on a world-class plane where the windows are this big,
Yeah,
you know, and beautiful planes,
Beautiful.
all made in America. You know, and it's just amazing. I gotta taste this for you guys before. Because you know, you guys are important. So you see what I did in the sauce. It's not bad. Go back to your question about quality. You know, so it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna put this out there. Once we get this and take it out there. Any questions? Let's go, it's late.
Okay.
Beautiful, Sam.
Thank you folks very much. I really enjoyed it. I just went right up the hill. That's one of the nicest things about tonight. I just go right up the hill.